Good morning. I'm Ben Jepsen. I'm a conservation biologist working as a monitor for EU LIFE projects. Today I have the pleasure to present you with some LIFE projects that had made a significant impact on conserving biodiversity in the EU. As you will all know, the State of Nature Report 2020 concluded that in spite of a large effort made by member states and others involved, the biodiversity in the EU continued to decline. For that reason, we did not succeed to meet the targets of the EU Biodiversity Strategy 2020. So last year, the EU passed a new Biodiversity Action Plan 2030. This plan responds to the threats from over-exploitation, changing land use, eutrophication, and a lot of other factors negatively impacting the biodiversity. One of the main targets of the plan is to put a stronger protection on nature areas in the EU. As another part of the plan, key restoration targets are set for a number of habitats and response to other issues. Today I will present you LIFE projects which are working actively to reach 7 of these specific targets. The Pennine PeatLIFE project supports a strategy's target to restore significant areas of degraded and carbon-rich ecosystems. The project targets the priority habitat upland blanket bog on 8 locations in northern England. Bogs have deteriorated due to atmospheric pollution, climate change, burning, drainage, overgrazing and peat extraction. The project demonstrates innovative restoration techniques and targets more than 1,300 hectares of badly eroded blanket bog habitats within and outside Natura 2000 sites. Among others, it will block 32 kilometers of eroding gullies with sediment trapping dams and revegetate 33 hectares of bare peat, thereby reducing surface water flow. Cost-efficient restoration methods can be used as a basis for a payment of ecosystem services. The Belgium Herbage project targeted one of the important factors for the reduction in pollinators: loss of species-rich, extensively used natural and semi-natural grasslands. The conservation status in 11 Annex I habitats, including grasslands, meadows and humid forest, was improved. More than 500 hectares of grassland habitats were restored using propagating and planting of key plant species. The project further restored the connectivity of the calcareous grassland habitats between the different Natura 2000 sites. Monitoring was conducted for the introduced and reinforced plant populations and the biodiversity linked with the restored habitats, including reptiles, plants, butterflies, grasshoppers, bryophytes, birds and Hymenoptera. The Wadden-Sea Birds project will change intensive agriculture land and introduce high diversity landscape features. The project works in 2 areas in the Wadden Sea region across the German-Danish border. On the Danish side, the project will result in permanent extensification of 248 hectares of farmland. Following purchase, the landscape will be modeled into habitats suitable for breeding, feeding and resting habitats for a number of bird species.
The project is to benefit 19 waders or waterfalls, for example avocets, ruffs, dunlins, Kentish plover, Arctic and common terns, by vegetation management of the blue zones.
In future, the area will consist of open water, marsh and meadows. Existing important bird areas will be used as a model. The future management will be through extensive grazing. The restored area will be multifunctional and also serve as a storage area for winter stormwater and reduce nutrient load to the sea. The biodiversity strategy sets an ambitious target of planting 3 billion new trees. The BushLife project demonstrates how tree planting can be combined with nature restoration. It worked to restore the habitat Fennoscandian wooded pastures in southern Sweden. The habitat suffers from low recruitment of new trees. To ensure this, the project has planted 254 hectares with more than 20,000 oak seedlings and 2,000 indigenous bushes. Groups of seedlings were planted in enclosures to protect them against grazing animals. Wire fence or traditional brush fences were used. The latter proved most efficient for enhancing growth of saplings, at the same time creating habitats for a number of species. The project has also experimented with natural sowing of oak and bushes to be spread by wildlife. The project Life Connects contributes to the target of restoring 25,000 kilometers of free-flowing rivers in the EU by 2030. The project aims to improve the conservation status of the target species and the ecological status along around 150 kilometers of 7 target rivers that presently are heavily affected by damming, dredging and channel building activities previously carried out for forestry, agriculture and hydropower purposes. It is expected to have positive impacts on more than 500 kilometers of river. Restoring connectivity, habitats and hydrological dynamics will benefit, among other species, salmon, freshwater, pearl mussel and thick-shelled river mussel, European eel and European river lamprey. A total of 10 dams will be removed during the project. The project will demonstrate the increase of ecosystem services related to river restoration. The 400 kilometers west coast line of Denmark features areas of coastal dune habitats. During 2013-19, the Red Cohab project countered the threat from the invasive Japanese rose to habitats and the red-listed plant species Ligusticum scoticum and Calystigeia sultanella. More than 1,100 hectares was surveyed and the area covered by the invasive alien species estimated at more than 100 hectares at the beginning of the project. During the project, 42 hectares of Japanese rose stands were treated using various methods: tilling with biorotors, excavation and burrowing of plants, coverage by plastic foil, and grazing by goats or sheep. The methods developed were published in the best practice guideline. Project actions significantly reduced threats to Ligusticum scoticum. Offshore, cavernous boulder reefs in shallow waters have a high biodiversity and are a rare and biologically important subtype of reef habitats. In Danish waters, the reefs have been extensively exploited. The large stones were extracted and used for construction of sea defenses and harbor jetties. An estimated 34 square kilometers of boulders disappeared in the way, and only 5 hectares of reefs are left untouched. The Blue Reef project restored a boulder reef with an area of 5 hectares using stones from Norwegian quarries. The results were very positive. Restoring the reef is estimated to have resulted in 6 tons of macroalgal vegetation and 3 tons of bottom fauna, as well as a surplus of nearly 700 million individual fauna. Codes of conduct have been used for restoring reefs in other projects, for instance the Better BirdLife project that within this year has created 30 hectares of new boulder reefs.